In life, there are moments when we feel like we can't carry on anymore. Maybe you've been through it, those times when you realize you're deeply depressed, emotionally wounded, and despite trying again and again, you just can't break free. It's like the black dog of depression has you on a leash, dragging you into a place you don't want to be. And here's the truth. You have the right to ask for help. That's not weakness. It's a human need. The people you love, the ones who are still here in your life, are meant to be part of that support system. When you fall, sometimes they fall too. But when we're strong, we can lift them up. And when we're weak, it's okay to let them lift us. When depression takes over, it can make you feel like you're no longer yourself. You're stuck in a storm of negative emotions, manipulated by that black dog. But sometimes, just hearing your name spoken with warmth, feeling a gentle, understanding gaze, or receiving a few encouraging words can make a huge difference. Even better, sitting down with someone who will truly listen. No judgment, no criticism, no condescension. Someone who can handle even the most irrational negative thoughts you spill out, simply because they care. That kind of presence is more powerful than any quick fix or motivational slogan. Our loved ones can walk alongside us on this journey. They can join activities with us, working together, doing sports, yoga, meditation, anything they can reasonably be part of. Their presence can give us the courage to believe we're not alone in healing our wounds. And when we sink into the darkest pits, they're the ones who can reach down and pull us back up. So if you feel like you've hit your limit, push past the pride, the doubt, the hesitation, and speak up. Tell someone you need help. Whether it's a loved one or a mental health professional, don't go it alone. If you've been stuck for a long time, unable to escape, it's time to find a way to open up. Now, you might be lucky and have a trusted friend or family member who's not only close to you, but also emotionally stable. That's ideal, because when you share your pain, you need someone who won't react with shock, judgment, or denial. But what if you can't tell them everything? Then you can still let them know you're struggling, that you're not okay inside. Tell them so they understand you might need solitude sometimes, not because you're lazy or avoiding responsibility, but because you're trying to heal. Without that understanding, they might unintentionally pressure you, criticize you, or misunderstand your silence. If possible, ask them to remind you of two things. First, that you're dealing with depression, a real, significant challenge. And second, that you're more than this illness. You're still the person with talents, good qualities, and a big heart. You're not just your wounds, and you're not just the black dog. Still, even with the most loving family and friends, there's a limit. If they haven't personally experienced depression or studied it deeply, they might not fully understand, and that's not their fault. That's why professionals are so important. Therapists and mental health experts can see the whole picture and provide strategies that actually work. But then comes the big question. How can loved ones recognize when someone is truly depressed? As we've discussed before, depression often drains a person's energy. They lose interest in things they used to enjoy. They become weaker, more fearful. Their eyes lose their brightness. They may think and act more negatively, get irritated easily, and withdraw from others, even those they care about most. They might seem emotionally numb. So when a loved one wants to help, good intentions aren't enough. We have to think about how to help, not just with love, but with the right approach. Let me tell you a story. One day I was walking through a park and saw a young American woman signaling for help. I rushed over and discovered there was a heron standing near the riverbank, about 15 meters away, with a heavy water-filled plastic bag tangled around its neck. The poor bird was clearly exhausted. Before I could act, the young woman jumped in, eager to rescue it. But her quick approach startled the bird. It flapped its wings, flew a short distance, then landed again, still burdened. She tried again, but once more the bird panicked and flew away. I told her, let's slow down. The park was big, and the bird couldn't go far. We eventually spotted it resting under a tree. I asked her to let me try. This time I moved slowly and mindfully, staying calm, breathing steadily, and radiating a sense of safety. To my amazement, the heron stayed put. I gently removed the plastic from its neck and signaled for the young woman to come over and touch it, to feel that connection before we let it go. She laughed, saying, "Why would the heron let a man help but not a woman?" I told her it wasn't about gender. We both cared about the bird, but the way we approached it made all the difference. Helping someone who's hurting is just like that. If we rush in without understanding, we can scare them off or make them retreat deeper. We need patience, skill, and the ability to make them feel safe. Only then will they allow us close enough to truly help. Helping someone with depression is even more delicate. They're sensitive, easily hurt, and sometimes deeply mistrustful. We have to be stable ourselves, full of compassion, and careful with every word and action. So what should someone who's offering help actually do? First, only show up when you're genuinely in a good place yourself. When you're stable, full of positive energy, and ready to give. Sometimes your presence alone is enough. Just being there, sharing space, letting your kindness show through your eyes, your smile, your gestures, that can be healing without a single motivational speech. It might be as simple as working together on a small task, cooking a meal, tending a garden, or just sitting quietly side by side. The key is that your presence radiates safety, not pressure. When you do speak, keep your words uplifting, comforting, encouraging, reassuring. Participate with them in outdoor activities, light exercise, yoga, meditation, anything that gets the body and mind gently engaged. And if you discover new therapy methods or resources, share them in a respectful, non-intrusive way. Or, if you know someone more skilled than you in supporting mental health, help make that connection. But just as there are things to do, there are things to avoid. Don't show up if you're running on empty or carrying negative emotions. Don't lock eyes in an intense, intimidating way. Don't force the conversation to be about depression if they're not ready. Don't criticize, shame, or compare them to others. And never belittle depression. It's not just in their head. And it's not simply overthinking. Don't push them to see a doctor when they're not open to it yet. Instead, gently encourage, inform, and let them take that step when they feel safe enough. And please, avoid saying things like, "Depression can't be cured," or "You'll be like this forever." Words like that plant seeds of hopelessness that can be hard to pull out later. Also, respect their need for solitude. If they've retreated to rest and heal, don't barge in, don't bang on their door, and don't pressure them into activities they're not ready for. Support is about patience, not force. The truth is, finding someone who will listen without judgment is already rare. In today's busy, energy-drained world, most people are caught up in their own struggles. Listening, truly listening, is a skill that requires time, patience, and emotional capacity. That's why helping someone with depression takes more than kindness. It takes resilience. The person offering help must be willing to withstand the emotional storms that can come from the other side. Because when depression takes control, negativity and hurtful words can spill out. If the helper isn't prepared, those moments can damage the relationship or even push them away. So the helper also needs to take care of themselves, to train, to maintain their own emotional stability, and to protect their own mental health. You can't pour from an empty cup. When you're steady, you can walk alongside them for the long haul. You can be that safe presence, the older sibling, the mentor, the friend who doesn't judge, who doesn't keep score, and who doesn't take their struggles personally. For the person receiving help, this creates a sense of safety, of being shielded and supported without fear of being judged or abandoned. And when there's no hidden resentment, no guilt tripping, no harm caused in return, trust begins to grow. With sincerity, patience, and the right approach, it's possible to help someone in pain, to guide them out of that deep, muddy pit, out from under the shadow, and back into the light of who they truly are. Because in the end, love is one of the most powerful medicines we have. It's not a quick fix, and it doesn't replace professional care, but it's an essential ingredient in healing the wounds of the heart and mind. And when love is combined with understanding, skill, and patience, it can transform not only the person we're helping, but ourselves as well. So remember, you don't have to do everything. You don't have to fix someone. You just have to show up, be steady, and let your love speak louder than your words. Thank you for listening. You see, depression is not just sadness. It's a complex, exhausting battle, one that can drain every ounce of energy from a person's mind and body. And because of that, helping someone through it isn't about grand gestures or instant solutions. It's about showing up consistently, with patience and compassion, even when the progress seems slow. It's important to understand that a person in depression might not always recognize or acknowledge your efforts. They might not thank you, they might pull away, and at times they might even push you out. This doesn't mean you're failing, it means they're struggling. In those moments, the real measure of help is not in fixing the problem immediately, but in staying present through the discomfort. It's about being the calm in their storm, a reminder that they're not alone, no matter how deep the darkness feels. There's also a crucial balance to strike, giving space without abandoning, offering support without smothering. Think of it like holding a bird, too loose and it flies away, too tight and it's harmed. The goal is to hold them gently but firmly enough so they feel safe, not trapped. One thing I've learned is that people in depression often carry guilt. Guilt for being a burden, guilt for not getting better fast enough, guilt for even existing in that state. And here's where your role becomes more than just helping. It becomes reassuring them that their value as a person is not tied to their productivity, their mood, or their ability to snap out of it. You remind them of their worth when they've forgotten. You speak to their strengths when they can't see them. You tell them they are still loved, still needed, still an important part of this world. And while you're doing all this, remember, you are not their savior. You're their companion on the path, walking alongside, pointing toward the light when they can't see it. They must take the steps themselves, but your steady presence can be what makes those steps possible. Now, if you're the one struggling with depression, I want you to hear this. Needing help does not make you weak. In fact, reaching out is one of the bravest things you can do. You are not defined by your depression. You are more than the pain, more than the black dog, more than the worst moments of your life. Deep within you is a core that is still whole, still capable of joy, still worthy of love. And that part of you can grow stronger again, step by step. If you can, allow the people who love you to walk with you. Let them cook with you, sit with you, walk with you, even if you don't talk about the heavy things right away. Healing isn't always about deep conversations. Sometimes it's simply about being reminded that life can still hold moments of warmth. And if the people around you don't fully understand, that's okay. Not everyone will. That's why professional support exists. Therapists, counselors, and mental health workers who have the tools and experience to help guide you through. It takes courage to trust, and even more courage to keep trying after setbacks. But I promise, with the right help and enough patience, the heaviness can lift, the colors can come back, the laughter can return. In the end, whether you're helping someone through depression or you're the one going through it, the principles are the same. Patience, presence, compassion, and the willingness to see beyond the surface. Healing is not linear. It's messy, slow, and sometimes frustrating. But it's also possible. And every small act of kindness, every gentle reminder that someone cares, is like planting a seed. With time, those seeds grow into something strong enough to push through the weight of the soil and reach the light again. So keep planting those seeds, keep showing up, and keep believing in the power of love, even in the darkest seasons. Because love, steady, patient, and real, can be the bridge that carries us out of the shadows and back into the light. Thank you for listening and for being here.